We have Absent-Minded Nihilist, our last offer of today. It's been another short stream, shorter than the last one, even though it's 1,000 words longer. So either A, I read faster, or B, I talked to you guys less. Which I'm not sure which one is better or for worse. I think talking to you guys less is probably for worse because like it's a stream, you know. People are here to interact with me. But at the same time, you know, for Sunday to be done earlier is always nice because then I can get to bed early and prepare myself for running tomorrow. I still have to make my bed. Everything's fresh from the lawn from my laundry day, freshly washed downstairs. So Absent-Minded Nihilist, I believe the last one we had from them is, yes, 2709. That was the last one. 2709. 2709. Which is, oh yeah, it's that forest when you walk in, all the animals like yelling and become like super aggressive because they're trying to warn you from this like weird spider-like monster that's actually deep inside the forest in the cave that like, you know, lures people in and eats them. So yeah, that was the last one we had from Absent-Minded Nihilist, and now we have that sweet, clean, freshwater smell. All right. Class Killer. Spectrum contain procedures. All bath products containing oil from SB-289 are to be confiscated and destroyed immediately. SB-289 is to be closed to the public, and a 3-kilometer security perimeter is to be maintained around SB-289. The security team for SB-289 is to be rotated every week. Trespassers are to be detained, amnesticized, and treated with exposure to SCP-2889 oil. Security personnel are to be prepared for resistance from the inhabitants of Freshwater and should not hesitate to respond with force if necessary. Permanent quarantine of Freshwater is being evaluated as a containment option. As description, SB-2889 refers to a logging forest of cypress trees located in the town of Freshwater, Vermont. Despite Mediterranean cypress rarely being found in Vermont climates. Okay. Good. Something we learn. Trees making up SB-2889 grow at a rate 20 times faster than that of their non-anomalous counterparts. Inhabitants of Freshwater use SB-2889 for logging purposes, as well as harvesting and selling the essential oils excluded by SB-2889. Population is nearly 98% Greco-American, with few records of outsiders marrying into the town's family trees. Family trees? We're talking about trees? Family trees? All buildings in Freshwater were found to be made of wood from SB-2889. SB-2889 is also used as a tourist attraction in the months before the yearly harvest. Examination of the oils excluded by SB-2889 show them to contain several of the chemical compounds found in human tears. It is of note that the internal structure of the trees from SB-2889 almost completely match the internal structure of instances of SCP-437-A. A link between these two anomalies has yet to be established. Notably, the town motto is "Let us wash your tears away." The phrase "sweet and clean" appears on the town's flag and seal. When humans are exposed to the oils from SCP-2889, they become fixated on the particular aroma of the substance, universally describing it as that sweet, clean, freshwater smell. Oh yeah. Eventually, within the next 1 to 3 days, the affected individual perceives all olfactory input as the scent of SB-2889 oil. When input into the search engine, the phrase that sweet, clean, freshwater smell results in a link to the tourism page of Freshwater VT, which has since been shut down by the Foundation operatives. Upon arrival in Freshwater, inhabitants of the town will direct affected newcomers to SB-2889. Affected individuals will then enter the forest but will not return. Natives to Freshwater appear to not be affected by SB-2889. Exploring SB-2889 is something I would do. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Wow. You want to explore a town that has a nice smelling trees? SCP-289 was discovered after items containing SCP-289 oil were sold at several brand cosmetic shops throughout New England. Many of the customers were purchased and used product were reported missing anywhere from 24 to 72 hours after exposure, and were always last seen freshwater before disappearing. The Holy Jolly limited edition holiday bath bomb and the popular Guardian of the Forest bath bomb. Like, out of all the SCPs, like, this is the one where I would be like, yeah, of course you would explode this one. It's nice. It doesn't want to kill you. It just smells nice. It has bath bombs. It's in Canada. It's a nice place to go. But at the same time, because you want to do everything anyway, it's not even surprising anymore. Interviews with inhabitants of Freshwater show that they are aware of both the effects of SCP-2889 and the immunity to its properties. When questioned about the origins of this immunity, interviewed individuals will claim that there is a boon granted them by an ancestral figure referred to intimately as the Stag's Widow. Oh yeah, the Stag. Beloved of Apollo and the Boy in the Groove. Oh, the Boy in the Grove, sorry. When questioned about a connection between this figure and the disappearance in SCP-2889, inhabitants will become aggressive and uncooperative, refusing to correspond to further questions. Genetic testing of freshwater inhabitants showed them to have a 15% higher inbreeding coefficient than a standard town of similar size. Okay, that is that's a bit of a problem. That's a little bit of a tiny bit. Incest is a bit of a problem for me to visit the place. I'd rather not. Testing also shows certain genetic sequences corresponding more closely to the equivalent sequence in the red deer. Servus Elephus. Hunting is strictly prohibited in freshwater, and the hunting of any deer is a capital offense because of the Stag's Widow. Yeah, I understand. You can't hunt deers if the deer is you. It's basically your god. Personnel assigned to SCP-2889, security perimeter for more than 2 weeks, will have all bodily fluids replaced with the oil exuded by SCP-2889. Not sure how I like the idea of like spitting accidentally and it's just oil, or going to the bathroom and it's just oil. Affected individuals suffer no ill effects from the change, but the process is irreversible. The effect is not cumulative, however, two security teams may alternate every week and be unharmed. You just visit this place and you just go back home and you just piss oil that smells nice. Hey, at least you make the bathroom smell nice, I guess. Below is the recovered audio-visual transcript of an expedition. In the center of SCP-2889, the team consisting of Captain Harris, Agent Clyde, and Agent Miller, delegates from MTF Epsilon 36, Druids and Rangers, were outfitted in full hazmat gear and were accompanied by D19245, who had been exposed to SCP-2889 oil immediately before entry. D19245 had been outfitted with a body camera which was relaying to Agent Zhao, and who was to remain outside SCP-2889 and call for extraction if needed. Begin log. Alright. 19245, you taking the lead. You got a camera, and I just got word from Zhao that mics are working. Here we go. Team enters SCP-2889 after 3 minutes of walking, reach a fork in the path. Which way? Right, the smell strong that way. And here? The middle path, then a left and another left. You can smell it that well. I know it anywhere. That sweet, clean, fresh water. Yeah, we know. Got it with that crap. If you could smell it, you understand. I think I'll pass. What about here? Jesus, you think this is some kind of maze. Go right, then straight, then left. I think it is a maze. And she's probably leading us right to the center. The canopy begins to thicken and block out sunlight as the team continues along the path. Noting for the record that the branching patterns of SCP-2889 become increasingly irregular as we get closer to the maze. Cypress doesn't do this. It's supposed to taper, but it's getting to look like a damn rainforest. How How the hell do you know this crap? I was a forestry major in college. Want to be a forest ranger. Left. Hey, anyone here? Sobbing. Good to know it's not just me. Straight. We're getting close now. I can almost taste it. All overhead light has now been blocked. The team switches on their shoulder mountain lights. Stop. You hear that? The team falls silent. Unintelligible mumbling can be heard. D19245 moves closer while beginning to mumble to herself. Oh, Semperviens, serve resta, Cyberis ceremony, Hildeverden Dale. Evergreen, ever-living stag, lover, Cyparius beloved. What the? She's mimicking it. She can't help herself. Quick, follow her. The team follows D19245 into the center of SCP-2889, where they encounter two figures. One is a Mediterranean youth in his 20s, tend to and encouraging the other entity, a servine human hybrid with a skeletal face and cloven feet. There are multiple arrows lodged in its chest, shoulders, and legs. The young man appears to be feeding strips of an unknown meat to the servine entity, kissing its skull intermittently and massaging its genitals. Does not help that the camera is blurry. He knows the team begins to speak. I know, love. You're hungry. I know. But look. Right on time. The lure works, love. It always does. D19. You're just caressing somebody's genitals. D19245 prostrates herself before the servine entity, assuming a posture that allows the young man to cut her throat. Visual feed is blocked. Go. Get back. Go. Come, love. Let's hunt. The sound of footsteps and cloven hooves following after. Two distant screams followed by a short period of silence. A bellow followed by a third scream, abruptly silenced. Footsteps followed by the sound of hoofs, passing by the camera and deeper in the center of the maze. Silence. End log. All the team members who entered SCP-2889 returned. Agent Zhao attempts to call for backup failed despite a lack of observable outside interference. Subsequent unmanned expedition returned with footage of a non-anomalous forest, with no signs of either the youth or the servine entity, designated -1-2 respectively. Addendum. After the neutralization of SCP-3240, SCP-2889 is displaying similar effects as planet life within the area of effect, despite being further north than the anomaly. The anomaly's range extends. In addition, cypress trees within the affected area have begun displaying properties identical to SCP-2889 trees. Ooh. Not sure. Okay, the Okay, don't get lured in by the smell because you'll become it's basically. I always imagine it like the book the Parfum. That's Parfum in German because it's like a book about like how a guy creates the most perfect smell for a perfume. So much that like everybody who smells it gets like out of control aroused. And it ends with like the entire town having an orgy and he walks away like disappointed. And kind of remind me of that because like the idea of like, you know, luring people with the smell. And yeah. But in this case it's luring people with the smell so they can kill whoever got lured in to feed the deer, the stag. Which is terrifying. You're being hunted, basically. It's not a good time. It's not a good time.